Welcome to episode 2 of Narkman's Rabittholes podcast. Today is going to be a fun one because I'm here with the lovely Jackie.
Hello.
Hey, Jackie, how are you?
Good. I'm good.
Good? I'm doing pretty well, too. So I heard you're having some trouble sleeping nowadays. Would you want to, maybe we can walk through sort of your daily routine?
Yeah.
And then we can try to see if there's some ways we can get creative and alter it to help you sleep better.
Okay. So, yeah, my main problem with sleeping is so daily routine, I usually 5 out of 7 days a week I'm going to work, and usually I'm waking up at like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or something, usually, or 7, some around that range, because at least recently I've been working 10 to 6, 9 to 5.
Okay, so you're working like a mid shift? Okay.
So I got to wake up like a little bit earlier, not like, I'm not waking up at 6 or anything, but I would go to work. I don't eat breakfast. Don't eat breakfast. I know I've always been bad with doing that. I don't eat breakfast. I have coffee instead.
Yep.
I have a lot of it. I have a lot of coffee.
Okay, we can talk about that. That could be a potential.
That and also a lot of with cream. With
creamer.
Okay, so I'm not. That's another thing. I'm not doing it raw.
Raw.
I also have a nicotine addiction.
Okay.
So
when you go to work in the morning,
and
you wake up, is there anything else you do, or is it like wake up, grab the coffee, go to work?
It's it's like wake up, like wash my face, and then make coffee, and I usually just chill out a bit, and usually I try to especially recently because it's been so cold, I'm like moisturize my face and then start biking, and I bike to work.
Okay.
So that wakes me up pretty good. But on days when I'm so tired though, I mean it doesn't even makes me more tired.
So that's the biking is awesome because the first thing I have on here is seeing the sun in the morning.
Every day.
I assume you'll
rain
see
or
it,
shine.
right?
I'm getting rained on. I'm going back. I'm soggy. I'm wet. I'm like walking in the door. It's horrible.
That's awesome. I do want to touch on
that. But it's also
that.
It is great though. I do like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because the first two things actually that are responsible for your circadian clock, which is your 24-hour cycle, and what lets your body know what time it actually is seeing the sun and having your core body temperature increase early in the day. You get a cortisol spike a healthy cortisol spike. People demonize it, but you need it to wake up.
The devil. I think it's the devil.
The devil. Cortisol chronically is bad, of course. You don't want chronic stress, but you want that spike in that first hour of your day, ideally. So if within the first hour of your day you're seeing the sun and biking, that's perfect. It's exactly what you want to be doing, which is kind of unfortunate because you are having issues still.
Yeah.
And you're doing this correctly.
But don't worry, I work retail too, so when I get another spike when I walk in, I got to deal with a bunch of crap from these people that just are absurd.
Yeah. The retail, maybe that's what's keeping you up.
The nightmares. It's like I got to go back in. Everyone's like, can I I got a garage door opener. I need a battery replacement. They can't pop it open. Like they've never done it before in their lives. But, so besides that, there's other things that are definitely spiking. There's other spikings. Maybe also the mic too. So, because I'm a loud talker.
It's all good. Audio, we'll figure it out. But, so you do drink coffee also.
Yeah.
And that's in the morning only. So you don't drink. Do you drink any caffeinated things later in the day?
No.
Okay.
I don't drink. I've stopped. I used to have a really bad problem a couple of years ago, and then I kind of had a problem with it again when I was working at Lowe's in August about energy drinks. I drank a lot of those. Yeah. I used to drink 3 every day.
Wow.
Every day, 3 Monster Ultras every day.
That is bad.
It was and
that is bad.
I woke up one day and I was like, actually some of these weren't even the sugar-free ones either.
Yeah.
They were just some of the
lots of.
And so I would feel absolute, just I would feel like a wasteland after when I'd get home and I'd be done. And sometimes I'd even throw up at work. That happened like a few times, just from too much either Monster or coffee. But one day I woke up and my heart was like felt thin.
Oh man,
like it felt like, if that makes sense, thin. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, I've never felt
forever.
that personally.
That wasn't true.
But that's certainly not good. So you're not having like excessive caffeine though. You're just having like a cup or two.
Not
of
anymore.
coffee.
No.
Yeah.
I do think on days off, like I'll make a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
I usually don't end up drinking it all because like now I think I know a little better because it makes me sick. You know.
Yeah.
The dab pen coffee combination in the morning is like it's not gonna do you well.
Your body was telling
There's
you to
memes
stop.
for a reason about that. Is kids got to stop doing that, including myself. I'm not even a kid. I don't even have an excuse. 22 years old. Gotta get my act together.
We're still kids.
Yeah.
In this day, if we can't buy a house ever in our lifetime, this is a whole separate thing I'm not going to go into. But if I can't buy a house, then I'm a kid.
True. I'm just renting.
Yeah.
That's like going on a play date. It's like renting.
It's like
you don't even own it.
Play date with the landlord.
Yeah. That's what.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So you're not having coffee 8 hours before bed, let's say. So the recommendation from it was some university, it's in here somewhere. The University of Michigan, they recommend 8 hours before bed, no caffeine. The ideal from what I found online is 12 hours. So, if you're drinking it at 8 a.m., then you don't, and you want to be in bed by 8 p.m., so you're going really early. Let's say 10 to 10 because that's more realistic. Then you shouldn't have any coffee after 10 if you're trying to go to bed by 10. That's like worst case if you process caffeine really slowly. But it sounds like that's probably not an issue. There is one more thing we can do in the morning that you're probably not going to like. I don't know. I feel like I could see you being someone that would do this. And I do it. I've been doing it every day for the last week, but over time I've done it off and on. And that's going to be cold showers.
Cold showers, I do.
Cold showers.
Yeah.
Do you?
Well, actually, no. I mean, in the morning.
Yeah.
I usually don't have time to shower in the morning. I used, it's funny is I used to, and this was a whole other issue, which I won't go into too much. But basically, I used to shower every single morning before school. But that was also because I was an idiot back then, and I used to shampoo and condition my hair every single day, and I didn't use the Head and Shoulders, so I wasn't like, I wasn't a criminal. I wasn't going to jail, but it was pretty bad what I was doing. It was borderline illegal. Like I was doing that to my hair, and I was also running my hands through it, so it got all frizzy because I didn't know how to take care of curly hair. So long way since then, but I used to shower every morning, and when I would do that, it would be cold.
It would be cold.
It would be cold, yeah. And it was like that like sends a shockwave through your system. It's like it is rough to do that. It is.
I do it.
So sometimes I would cave and I would do a hot shower.
Yeah, you can't do it all the time. It'll just it wears you down sometimes. But yeah, I've been doing them. And that has, I feel like, the theory behind it is that you're raising your core temperature, which is the same reason we're getting exercise. And when you wake up naturally throughout the day, your body's going to rise 1 to 3 degrees. So when you take that cold shower, you can kind of jumpstart that. Because even though the water's freezing, your body works kind of like a thermostat. Like, hey, it's cold in here. Let's pump up the temperature. So your body warms itself up, and then that warm temperature can help that cortisol spike be at the right time and be aligned. But it sounds like you might not have time for that. It might not be practical.
I think I do.
Yeah.
If I like, I just think like it's such a pain in the butt to like do my hair, which I guess I don't necessarily have to do. I could just not wet my hair, but something always feels, and I do that sometimes. Well, actually, I never shower unless I'm not washing my hair, but at least getting it wet. Because I know some people don't get it wet at all. But if I take a shower, I feel like I have to, even if I'm not using shampoo or conditioner that day, or maybe some days I just use shampoo, which some people are like, why do you do that? Well, it's like, first of all, you don't even need conditioner. We can make a whole video about that. You don't. Like, you actually don't. You don't need it.
You seem to know more about that than I do.
You don't. Well, I wouldn't say that you never need it, but there's people that You think it existed? No, okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
We'll film that after this one.
Yeah, we'll do that after. That'll be the bonus. That'll be the Patreon episode exclusive. But I don't have I would have time, but it's I'm a little lazy. I have to prioritize other things. Like I'll wake up and I remember there was something before we filmed that you were talking about, but like getting some blue light in the morning.
Yeah, I was gonna
mention that,
too,
but I don't think it's I have blue light glasses. So
blue light blocking glasses.
Blue light blocking. Yeah. I have blue light glasses, so there's screens here and they just blast me.
You got to clarify online, someone will
I have VR. I have Google Glass. Google Glass, and it just blasts me the whole day. But
there is a study in here actually that does something similar to that I'll talk to later.
Oh, really?
Or talk about later. Yeah, not quite getting blasted by Google Glass, but something similar.
And about the blue light thing, I mean, look, our parents, they were right. They were right from the very beginning. You don't sit too close to the TV. They were right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. That's further in here because that's a huge factor.
And now we have TVs right next to freaking our giant. Like we have like radioactive. Oh my god, I'm sorry. We have like radioactive like TVs like right next to our freaking heads that are about to like this thing could be a bomb.
Yeah, it's Facebook's trying to blow us up.
This could be a lead bomb on my face right now. This could be like I don't even know.
Something to be said about potential radiation from using devices too close to your head. Specifically, we're not going to talk about this. This is irrelevant to this episode, but specifically cell phones. There have been some studies done on them because cell phones are constantly emitting radio waves, and you're constantly having cell towers and stuff go through you. So that could be a whole other thing in itself. But the
play
blue
too
light,
many games on your phone. You pay dearly for it.
Your life is shortened.
Yeah, if you want to get that high score Temple Run, it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you. It's gonna be steep.
Give you some sleepless nights trying to get that. But anyway, back to the blue light in the morning. So humans have sort of evolved to expect seeing light in the morning because if you think about it in nature, well, basically our bodies are the same bodies we were in 5,000 years ago. We haven't changed genetically. We haven't evolved since then. We're almost identical. And we're living in the modern world, which is a very different experience to what they would have had. So they've adapted, or we have adapted, we're the same, to seeing sun. The sun would wake us up in the morning. Our body would rise in temperature, and we would see the sun, and we would exercise. So doing those three things will align your circadian clock. It sounds like you're doing most of them. The blue light glasses, ideally you wouldn't be blocking the blue in the morning. I know those are your eyeglasses. Yeah. So it might not be practical to be biking outside with no glasses on in the city. So I definitely don't recommend that you do that. But for people watching, you do. That's what they call ghosting. Awesome. They call it ghosting.
Yeah, they call it ghosting. I'm going ghost.
I'm going commando.
Yeah.
But the blue light, specifically the blue wavelengths, are play a big role in aligning that clock. So it could be that maybe if you're how long is your bike ride? Because if it's more than like 10 minutes. Then I don't think this is a factor. I think you're out there long enough.
It's like 6 minutes.
Like 6 minutes.
It's like a 6 minute ride, and it's faster than 6 minutes if I'm home.
If you're hoofing.
Yeah, if I'm really going. Yeah, but it's really close. Yeah, it's about and then on the way there I go down some hills. I have to go up this one hill, but it's less like steep than the hills that I have to go back up on the way back home, which is the same road. So
gotcha. So it sounds like you're getting the exercise. You are seeing the sun.
I'm also I'm on my. I know it's not like exercise, I guess, but it's like I do have to. If I'm doing something at the register, I'm like standing the entire time.
Yeah.
Or
getting some movement in.
Walking around, just always on my feet. Yeah. At the job.
So it sounds like a lot of that you're doing what physiologically makes us align when we're going to sleep later in the day, because that cortisol spike happens in the morning, and it also tells your body, hey, in 14-15 hours we're going to go to bed. So you're doing everything right there. We got 4 minutes on the camera.
Okay.
That one doesn't show me, but only that one. So caffeine, we've established you're probably doing good things with caffeine. And another thing that's very important, we're going to move on to later in the day. So in the evening, because it sounds like in the morning you're doing everything right as far as physiologically. And it could be that, you might need some sort of supplementation or clinical diagnosis for insomnia or something, if it is something crazy like that. But at night, when you're actually trying to go to bed, what would you say the heat in your house is set to, in your apartment?
The heating,
like generally, is it
we don't
cold?
have heating.
You don't have heat?
We have none. We just have
apartment?
AC units that we have turned off now. It's cold. It's not, I mean, it's cold normally, I guess, but it's really extra. It's extra cold.
Yeah.
When you turn the or when you open the windows, which I sometimes will, because I like it to be really cold. So usually on my way, because if I do it before then it's too cold when I'm sitting at my desk where the window is. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm freezing to death. And there I'm like turning into an ice cube, so I'll open it and then run back to my bed on the other side of it and get in while I'm in like my pajamas.
That's good. It's perfect actually. It's what temperature regulation at night, your body in comparison to the morning, your body rises in temperature. At night, your body will drop 2 to 3 degrees, 1 to 3 degrees, but in that range. So if you're in a cool environment, that will help encourage the drop. It sounds like you're already doing that.
We're in the basement level of our apartment complex.
And you don't have heat. So
yeah, no heating, yeah.
So it sounds like that's probably good.
Don't even have a choice.
And obviously it's fine to be under a blanket. That drop still happens because you'll naturally stick out your limbs.
Yeah.
And your limbs are... The surface of the skin is called glabrous skin.
Glabber.
Yeah, have you ever heard that term?
No.
Glabrous?
No, it sounds...
It's a funny word, but basically what it means is...
Blabbermouth.
That it regulates temperature super efficiently, so it can cool your body really efficiently. That's why sticking a hand out of the blanket or a foot out of the blanket... it's the bottoms of your feet, the palms of your hands, and the upper portion of the face, actually, is what regulates your temperature for the most part. So when you stick those appendages out of a blanket, you can cool your body super efficiently. So I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it must be why when your feet are sticking out, it's like you're freezing to death. And it's like everything else is covered, but your feet are sticking out and you're dying.
Yep, that's exactly why.
Like, give me more of it. Like you're pulling the other person's blanket. Give me more.
All right, we'll have to. It's a cut because these are about to turn off. But
sure.
We were talking about the skin and everything. So it sounds like you're doing that right. Everything with the lower temperature, that can be good. Do you shower at night ever?
Yeah, I shower. Usually around the time where I shower is probably like, I don't really like to shower really late. Because I don't like sleeping on wet hair. I never ever have, because I always feel like it gets like really messed up. And I usually shower, if I were to shower, it's like around like 8 or 9 p.m.
And what time are you're trying to go to sleep is like
when I'm trying to?
Yeah, like when would you ideally be asleep?
Ideally, if I have to wake up for work, I would like to try to start going to bed around like 11 something.
11, okay.
Yeah, 11 something.
Yeah, so the reason I ask for the warm shower is because it does the opposite of the cold shower, and it can help to lower your internal body temperature, your core temperature, and that can encourage your body to fall asleep with that drop. So it sounds like you're already doing that too. So so the warm shower before bed is
but I don't do that
tool.
I definitely don't do that every night, especially when I'm like really tired from work. I'm just like, some days, like, and this might sound gross to people, not that I don't like clean the rest of my body, but like, man, sometimes like a full shower, full mode shower, like I don't, I feel like I don't do as much these days anymore. Though my skin's never looked better.
Yeah, sometimes less is more, especially when it comes to that sort of thing, because especially in a warm shower, this is irrelevant to the sleep thing, but especially in the warm shower, it dries your skin out. Just the warm water in general. So
sometimes I get out of that thing and I feel like a mummy. Yeah. I feel like crispy. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
like my face is so dry.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah,
in the
this time
winter.
of year.
Yeah. So in the soap,
Look like a California raisin. I'm like, oh my god.
yeah. Especially the
Start
a lot
turning
of,
purple.
Come on. Yeah, the soap that you use matters a lot for that too, because a lot of the cheaper soaps will dry your skin out like crazy too. So
Yeah.
that's not necessarily a bad thing. But the warm shower can be a useful tool. But if you feel like you're tired enough that you can sleep anyway, it's not worth it. Just go to bed.
Yeah.
But
True.
if you're struggling, a nice warm shower for a couple minutes it could help encourage you to fall asleep. Let's see, we already talked about caffeine. I haven't been reading these notes at all. We've been loosely following them. So you said you get off work. You're working a mid shift, so you're off at like 6:30 ish.
Yeah,
normally.
and the latest that we're open, we close earlier on Sundays at 6.
Mm-hmm.
Store opens at 7, I think, or 8. I think it's 8. But the latest that I would ever. Excuse me. The latest. Speaking of I'm yawning now. Speaking of sleep, oh man. The latest I get off is at 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because just like viewing the sun in the morning, if you view the sunset, or if you're able to, it might be hard with work. It only needs to be 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
But if you're able to get those yellow and red hues into your eye from the sun. Those wavelengths will
really
tell your body that, hey, we're going to go to sleep
I never knew about that. That makes sense, though. When you breaking it down like that makes sense. But I never thought that. I never knew that.
Yeah, it's the same exact principle that wakes you up. It's actually, there's cells in your eyes, specific cells in there that respond to those wavelengths. And in the morning, there are actually different cells that respond to that blue light and that brighter yellow. And then in the evenings, you have different ones that respond to those longer red wavelengths. And
wow.
Yeah, and when you think about it, in nature, you would go to bed when it gets dark because you have no light.
I was gonna say, when you broke it down like that, because the other one, I feel like I like didn't know, but I like assumed that internally, like your body, it's like when you're in a car and when you're looking at your phone, it doesn't know that you're moving, but you look out the window. Sorry, I'm like looking
You're
away.
fine.
Yeah.
It's because it's sideways.
Yeah, you look out the window, and then your inner ear knows you're moving. But so it's like when you wake up, if you don't see if you're waking up at like a normal time, if you're not seeing like any kind of signs of the early morning or whatever, then your body would know internally that it's morning time, because it's like a dungeon in your room. You're in the grimy basement.
Because if you think about it, the things that regulate sleep are your nervous system and your brain, which is part of the nervous system technically. And your brain is stuck inside a skull, and your nervous system is stuck inside a shell of skin and bone. And without those reference points, it doesn't know where it is in time. So that's how we've adapted to understand what time it is. It actually, it
needs help,
and that's why
it's wandering around in the mall. It's like, Mom, it's like where's the sun?
Like,
we were at TJ Maxx.
Go touch grass. You haven't been outside in months.
It's like your brain's terminally online. You need to go, and you need to set it free. Let it go. You let it know that it's time to wake up. It's time to make some get some eggs Benedict.
Some eggs Benedict, wake you up in the morning. But so if you are able to, it's a little bit harder in the winter because the sun's going down so early, and it's going down before you're off work.
Yeah.
If you're able to, take short breaks at work, I don't know how that works with you.
If I was a cigarette smoker, it'd be really easy. I would just be like, I'm gonna go take a 5, and then just like walk outside and just like smoke a dart. But I don't smoke cigs.
So you could just lie and then go outside and do a healthy thing and look at the sunset.
I'm gonna be to my bosses like, I'm gonna go smoke a joint. Yeah, I'll be back.
You're just watching the sunset.
It's like, wait, I'm just like, it's like, all right, I'm gonna go. No, I'm not kidding. But no, just move on.
Move on.
Yeah, I that's funny though. I never knew that. That's cool. That really does makes sense. It makes sense.
So if you're able to fit that in, that could be a huge game changer. And with that, you can still offset that unintentionally by looking at screens after the sun is down. So let's say your body sees the sun go down, right? And it gets these red wavelengths. And it's like, okay, we're going to sleep in a few hours, sometime soon. It increases your melatonin production. and then you look at phones
Yeah.
or TV or anything, and the VR,
the screen,
the lead bomb on your
yeah, the lead bomb.
But yeah, let me find. I found some
TSA's worst nightmare.
I found some studies on this that I wanted to talk about, or
The
one
Oculus
one
lead.
study.
It's the Oculus lead
You get lead poisoning as well.
in your eyes.
Oh, ew. That's horrible. But there's a quote from I have lots of quotes in these notes that I haven't talked about, but there's a quote from Dr. Joanna Cooper, who is a sleep doctor. She's an MD.
Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she says device screens produce the blue light, which is the part of the light spectrum most active in our sleep cycle. And when you stimulate this, it makes people not able to turn off their brain, and it suppresses their melatonin production. That's not her exact words, but it's basically that melatonin that's being naturally produced from those nice red wavelengths, seeing the sun, or just from seeing it in the morning, because your timing will be lined up, will be blocked by looking at more light. And it doesn't take much. There's a study that was done in 2011 on college students. That I thought,
those darn college students and their screens.
Those damn kids.
They never learn. They never learn.
But I found this study so interesting because basically they tested a control group, which was students just sitting in a room, a dark room, no lights at all, and they took their melatonin through blood tests, or I'm not sure how you check it, but they would check their melatonin levels, and then they had students that would look at a computer screen, and then they had another group of students that would have these blue light goggles on that would, or like, let's just imagine it's like VR kind of, but
Blue Man Vision.
But what's interesting about this is that these goggles, they produced 40 lux of blue light. So lux is a measurement, it's a light measurement for how bright something is. And without having any reference, 40 is like, that's probably a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a bright summer day, you can go outside and expect to see 100,000 lux at once.
Oh, wow.
So they're only being exposed to 40 lux worth of blue light. So it's not bright at all.
Yeah.
And they saw significant decreases in their melatonin production. So,
wow, that's really,
yeah, substantial.
Damn.
Substantial.
So you just can't be looking at no screens.
Yeah. So the group that was looking at the computer screens they tested on were dim computer screens, and then they tested them with the goggles as well, and the people that were in the dark room. And the people with the screen, like looking at the computer, did see a significant reduction as well, but it wasn't as big as the specific blue light goggles. So
yeah, we need to redo this test with we need to have one group of people using light mode and group of people using dark mode, and see
light motors never sleep.
Yeah, light motors, they're up all night. They're like, they're wired. They're like, oh, it's like in a Clockwork Orange with when he's got his eyes peeled up. It's like,
don't be a light motor, basically.
Yeah, that's a light mode. That's a light mode lifestyle. So just watch that movie and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
But yeah, so that's pretty wild, right? Like 40 lux compared to 100,000 during a bright sunny day.
Yeah,
it's not a lot. So in theory, looking at a phone screen would do substantial numbers on your melatonin production.
It would destroy you,
like demolish it. And
all that grinding that you did, did they that whole day to try to like get your sleep grind up? You know, like that XP's gone.
Yeah, exactly. That's a way of putting it. Yeah, you can totally just get rid of everything you've tried the whole day if you're looking at screens. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, the sun went down at 5. I can't look at my phone for 6 hours. Like,
I can't text my parents where I am.
Oh, yeah.
You're like,
they'll just think I'm dead. It's fine. I'm just trying to go to bed. But like,
I can't call the police. There's someone breaking into my house. I can't look at my phone.
I can't. I gotta get to bed.
I gotta get a home phone with no screen.
Yeah, you gotta get I was gonna say a flip phone, but even that's got a screen.
I need one of the.
You need a circular.
Yeah.
You had one at your old house.
I need a telegram. I'm like beep 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 beep.
I got one upstairs.
Oh really?
Yeah, we have an old one.
Oh wow.
Actually, it's probably down here.
Yeah, I'll get the Alexander Graham Bell thing. I'll just look absolutely ridiculous using it. I'll be like cranking it or whatever. I'm like talking into a Tubi thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I have this.
Yeah.
I'm getting rowdy now. See, I knew I was gonna get rowdy.
You're calling your mom, and it's like, you got the.
I'm like, yo. I'm like, Mama, I'm like, you got to pick me up.
You probably got to
She's like,
scream.
what
into
number
it.
is this? It's like, don't worry about it. It's an anti-blue.
So it's a landline.
it's a landline, Mom.
But yeah. So are you using your phone? Right before bed?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I can't lie about that.
So
100%.
that could be really crushing your
Yeah.
ability to fall asleep.
And my computer.
And the computer
as well.
is going to be brighter than a phone screen normally. And it's not, like I said, it's not practical for hours before bed to not look
Yeah.
at it. I try myself to at least do half an hour.
Half an hour.
Just put the phone down, go write in a journal, go read, do something. And you want to keep the lighting around you as dim as possible too.
Okay.
Ideally, Andrew Huberman, who has a great episode on Sleep Toolkit and all these different things, he recommends candlelight.
Oh, really?
Because a candle is like 1 lux.
Oh, you know what? There's a guy that my brother works with at the firehouse, because you know how like they work for 24-hour shifts.
Yeah.
And they're there all night, and they get called out in the middle of the night. He takes his sleep super seriously. He's like lieutenant that he works with, and this guy, yeah, he does. I think, I don't remember, but I think because he just bursted a memory out of my dome when he said this, but I'm pretty sure he would do the candle thing. Like he would do it where he was like no blue light for like an hour or something like he was very serious about his sleeping habits and all the steps he would take each night that he did that he made sort of just bringing the consistency to each day with that. But he did the candlelight thing too. I was like, is this guy like Shakespeare? Or like,
yeah,
this guy
it seems silly, right?
Edgar Allan Poe. He's like got the quill out. He's like, but
yeah.
he's like, now thine will go to sleep, to slumber.
It seems silly, right? Like
Yeah.
to sit in candlelight. But it works. It really does. I haven't seen any studies that have been done specifically on this, but I've tried it myself. And the recommendation is to have as little light as possible to still do whatever task you want to do, because you don't want to just like sit in your dungeon for half an hour with candlelight. Like what are you doing? Like
You're hunched. Yeah, you're writing with the quill.
You can write with the quill.
You're writing the crow. You fall in the house of
The
Usher.
crow.
You're like.
Yeah,
I saw his bedroom when I went to UVA. At
Really?
Grounds Poe's like little bedroom. Yeah, because I think he went there.
That's
Now I'm like
cool.
making it up. No, he did go there.
He's
No,
making
I'm
up.
but now I'm sounding unsure. I'm like, I saw it. I think it was him.
You saw something.
I saw something. No, but
You might have been asleep during that. Who knows?
It could have been a dream.
Could have been a dream. But yeah, so the phone and the computer could be really hurting you.
Hurting my.
But what
eyes.
I would say to do is, to, you don't have to like be so strict with it. And a lot of the screens have blue light filter modes now. Those aren't perfect. It's still producing light, whether it's
is that
blue light or not.
is that like the one mode that on yeah, I know, actually, yeah, the iPhones have had that for a while.
Yeah, the night
Yeah,
mode.
the night mode
Yeah, it's just like that. So what that does is
makes it yellow.
it red shifts it. Yeah, so it goes more towards those red wavelengths instead of the blue ones.
Fallout New Vegas filter. It's like
Yeah. The desert filter.
piss.
Piss filter. But so you can try to utilize that if your things have it.
Yeah.
We need to take a moment, like
Yeah, just
simmer down.
simmer down.
Getting too rowdy. No, rowdy's fun, but
Just don't want to blast this thing.
it's fine if they get blasted. They'll deal with it.
Yeah, like, we'll edit in post.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I won't edit shit.
We'll get our editor. Who's our imaginary editor name?
We'll make Justin do it.
Justin.
JJ, cut that.
Cut it.
Cut it out. Anyway, so if you're able to, try to utilize those. You're wearing the blue light glasses, which will help. So if you can, like, redshift your computer monitors. Mine have night modes on them. But half an hour before you want to sleep, ideally an hour or more, really, if you can try to get off of them, it could really benefit you.
I think I think your old computer still has that setting on.
Does
for
it?
mine. So
Yeah.
So one time I was like, why does it look yellow? I was like, this looks different. I was like, it looks tinted. I was like, am I wearing sunglasses? And I was like, oh no, I'm not. I was like, I can't even wear them.
Yeah.
So
I had it on a time schedule. It would kick on after like 6 p.m. It would go red shift.
You're right. It does do 6 p.m.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. I had it set up. So you can Well, I guess it's already doing that.
Yeah.
But if you can really try to keep your room, if you can try to keep your room as dim as possible, ideally candlelight. You don't have to go that nuts with it. If you can just have a dim lamp, or I have LEDs in my room. I don't know if you have anything like that.
I have LED. It's like Christmas lights. Yeah, like
those
would
would be
purple,
good.
orange, and then there's like rainbow. Actually, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say something. I'm not gonna say that though. Anyway, what's the next topic? What's the next like sleep? So we talked about light is important.
Yep.
Lieutenant Dan. I think Lieutenant Dan at the firehouse knows this. I know this now too.
Yeah. So if you
Edgar
can
Allan
utilize
Poe knew
that,
it way before we all did. So you guys should have been listening to him.
they just didn't have access to real light.
I guess they were probably more caught off guard by the fact that he was like dating that girl that was like his daughter or whatever. You guys know the story if you guys are into that.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
It was like his step. It was something weird. It was like she was like 13 or something. He was
I believe that. They're all freaks.
That's how it was back
children.
then. And
yeah,
some things never change.
They were just bored as hell. They didn't have TikTok, so
true. They didn't have blue light to
They probably slept better than we did.
They
on
probably
average.
did.
I bet they did actually. Even with obesity rates nowadays, being obese does also impact sleep.
Yeah, I mean sleep apnea.
Yeah,
sleep apnea.
When you have breathing issues
CPAP.
and that sort of thing.
Vun has sleep apnea. My partner Vun, they just have it because they it's not related to that, but it's like they have a CPAP, which helps them sleep a lot.
Yeah.
So it's good that because they always struggled with they struggled with sleep way more than I ever have. Yeah. Actually. Yeah, except for maybe now. Except I don't think it's nearly as bad as them because they were like
struggling.
They had like legitimate phobias of fear, or phobias of fear,
insomnia,
phobias of sleep. Yeah, insomnia, pretty much. Yeah, it was like.
Okay, so we talked about light. We talked about morning routine. Talked about evening routine, temperature regulation. It sounds like you're doing most of that. And so we could look into some supplements.
Booze! Just kidding, guys. Don't do that.
Alcohol. So drink lots of alcohol every night.
Copious
it's going to be amazing for your liver and for your sleep.
Especially the liver. Especially the brain.
Yeah, everything. All the goods.
Think about that. Think about an uncle you have that has a drinking problem. Think about what goes on.
Think about how good he's sleeping at Thanksgiving when he pounds 16 beers in front of you.
Think about the Saturday morning cartoons that are always playing in his head every day, every single day, 5 days a week.
Anyway,
5 days a week, every day.
So there's some stuff you can try if you think that some supplements might be good for you. Making sure I can still hear me because I feel like I couldn't hear myself. So magnesium. Have you ever taken any magnesium supplements?
Yeah, I used to take a lot more supplements, which I always assumed like maybe I'm like conspiratorial. Maybe you'd agree with me because everybody thinks I'm crazy when I say this. Everybody thinks that they're like, no, what are you talking? Why would they, if they put it in there, then it's got to be what's in there. But I feel like a lot of the time supplements you buy from like and I don't have like I can't back this up with like this is just a total like I'm just gonna say this is just total like conspiracy or whatever. But I highly believe that like a lot of the time when you buy supplements and things from like Walmart, Giant, it's cut with water. Like it like half. It's probably I don't even know how much is even in those. Like to be honest, it might say this many milligrams. This but I don't. So I don't believe it.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, I don't believe it at all.
130%. So like my first.
I just think they're just like they're basically, and then eventually like when you take too much, you end up just peeing it out anyway, right?
A lot of it can get filtered in the kidneys depending on what it is you're taking. A lot of B vitamins that are poorly absorbed, or different types of calcium supplements. What's the main one? It's like the calcium that's actually like a rock that you find but that type will absorb at like 30% compared to a different type of calcium that would absorb closer to 80 or 90. So supplements, I really don't recommend them unless you can go for them. But the first episode I did that we were going to do together basically taught me that the FDA is full of shit.
Yeah, they're
And the thing with supplements is
The
that
best
they're
known secrets too. That's
yeah,
the thing. It's like it's all out in the open as well. It's like
they lie to your face, and a
Yeah.
dude in his basement in 5 hours of research over a week can find 25 sources
yeah.
saying that they lie to you and they are putting carcinogens in your food.
Mhm.
But what's crazy about supplements is that they're not even evaluated by the FDA.
Mhm.
If you look at the labels on them, it says statements not evaluated by the FDA.
Yeah.
So
That's why you have all these like snake oil salesmen peddling their brain, like ego brain, like it's like what? And it's like it'll help you, like you take a couple drops of this and it's gonna like it's gonna be like you're on crack, and it's like you're gonna be like bouncing off the walls with productivity, and it's like what is brain goop? Like what? It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like this stuff.
With supplementation, basically, nobody's holding them accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the FDA, even if they were, don't do their jobs. So,
Yeah, true.
you need to be careful and choose ones that you support and that you think are being truthful, because they can basically say whatever they want.
Yeah. So guys, everybody. We have I don't know if you guys knew this, but we just recently got a sponsorship from Joe Rogan. Came down here. He actually came to the studio. This is a studio, by the way. He came down to the studio in the basement dungeon. And he was like, I have these products, these Alpha Brain, and I want you guys to try all these Alpha Brain products. I want you to give the 5% code. So you can trust these guys.
Yeah, we get a gigantic commission as well.
Not
use
FDA
code
approved, but
Narkman.
as we described, or as we've laid out, it doesn't even matter. So you should trust us because we're more reliable than the FDA.
Yeah, we're just
Especially
people sitting in a basement in the dungeon that we call a studio
Yeah.
on a half pipe.
Half Pipe Studios.
But yeah, it's basically be careful with supplements. If you are going to use them from companies that you trust or have some people doing tests on them, because there are tests done on some of them.
Yeah.
But magnesium can help with sleep. It's a specific type of magnesium, so like not all types of it are created equal. They're all useful for their own applications, but magnesium citrate is going to be the one you want to avoid. And magnesium glycinate, I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's the one that's going to help calm your nervous system down and hopefully get you to sleep better throughout the day. And you want to make sure you're not having like a ton of it, because some of these supplements are crazy. They're like, they will put like literally thousands of times the daily value of something in some of these B vitamin ones, especially. The B vitamin ones, that's a whole nother thing, but basically, if you look at the milligrams, like I'm not a doctor. I'm not prescribing.
I'm not a doctor, but I'm a doctor.
I'm not prescribing anything. I'm
your doctor.
I'm the least qualified person to be saying things. I just have a computer and Google, and basically
that's what it takes to be a doctor these days.
Yeah. Oh, and this is really late to say this, but all the sources are in the description.
Yes.
There is over 20 sources for these things, so I'm not just pulling this out of a hat. But basically from 3 or 4 different websites and different sources, I found that for males, you want to keep it under 420 milligrams. For females, you want to keep it under 350. So I would just, like, if you're going to take it, I would just do like 200 or something.
Yeah.
Like, just be conservative, see if it's going to help you at all.
Don't go like so far into it the first time.
Yeah. And like, it's easy. Like, it's not going to kill you if you ever do
like
it,
max boost, like macro dose.
Yeah. And it's worth noting that supplements you want to use as little as possible, because you can get these things in your diet for the most part. Magnesium in the American diet, we are all deficient of it if we're eating average American diets. Dark leafy greens. Yeah. McDongle does almost nothing when it comes to minerality.
King Burger.
I need the bell.
Wendy's. Yeah, when I got my daily Wendy's diet, I'll be honest though, I mean, you would be surprised. I mean, with the Wendy's that's close to where we work at Ace, like at my job, like I mean, I wouldn't. Some of these people do be getting it every day, and it is kind of like
easy. And they're kind of blissfully ignorant. And I actually talked about Wendy's in the first episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Wendy's.
What did you say about them?
So it was specific to the ingredient that I was talking about, which is azodicarbonamide, which is a mouthful, and I can't believe I remembered that.
Nice.
But
see, doctor,
PhD coming.
Not a doctor, but your doctor. That's how it is. That's how it goes.
That's how it's gonna. This is a sleep doctor.
That'll be on
now.
the channel banner. It'll be not a doctor, but yours.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I'm gonna sell that as a gimmick.
Start grifting. Start selling vitamin like your own. You start making
I'm gonna
alpha
start
brain,
branding things. Yeah.
beta brain,
and I'm just gonna fill them with water. I'm gonna make a huge profit when this blows up.
Tap water.
Oh, but
Tap
the
water
Wendy's.
drops.
When I was talking about it, it's Wendy's, Subway, McDonald's, and some other big box brands that are in grocery stores. Put that ingredient in bread, and basically what that boiled down to was that ingredient is a known carcinogen in over 200 studies, scientifically backed, in rodents and in human liver cells that they took out of, and had like in their petri dishes and stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't test it. They didn't force humans to eat a bunch of this
Yeah.
potential carcinogen. Basically, very carcinogenic.
Yeah.
And Wendy's used to use that in their bread, in their buns.
Specifically them, and not like other people.
Wendy's, Subway, McDonald's.
Jesus. Oh my God.
Heritage Farms. I don't know
Not
about
Heritage
that one.
Farms.
I don't remember,
no.
but the restaurants were those. Subway got in a lot of flack for it. What's crazy?
I'm
is,
sure they did. Their whole thing in the 2000s was look, you can like if you just eat this every day and then you go on a walk just like Jared. It's like,
But it none of them use it anymore. Well, not none
Yeah.
of them, but the restaurants, as far as I know, at least Subway. I don't know for the other ones. Don't use it anymore anyway. But basically, Americans are deficient in every mineral.
Yeah, magnesium especially.
Magnesium usually comes from dark vegetables, dark leafy greens, kale, spinach, collard greens, that sort of
I like
thing.
kale.
I've been liking it.
Yeah,
more
we
recently.
made a kale salad the other day because like we have this food thing that like people, it's some like it's actual serious like rich person DC type BS like where it's like straight up like because it's like really fresh foods delivered straight to the ace that you like order online, and then you sign your name and pick up your box of like it'll be vegetables, they'll have like potatoes, and it comes from like a fresh farm, and it is like super fresh stuff.
That's awesome.
But it's and so when we have extras, we take it home. We made kale salad. We just put we sliced bread up and then put that in the air fryer, the bread, and those are our croutons because we put some oil. Yeah, but yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, that's
kale
awesome.
is good.
So it sounds like if you can increase your dark leafy greens, you might be able to avoid the magnesium supplements if it's something that you are wanting to try anyway. But yeah, magnesium glycinate is the one. If anybody wants to try it,
okay,
I would do a low dose.
Yeah,
Don't be stupid. It's not going to kill you if you have too much. Like your kidneys will filter it out, but it can help you sleep if you do it. If you're doing everything else and it's not working. And also, do you like tea?
Tea?
Yeah.
Besides ones that are like like tea where it's like
sweet tea.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
you
like
know what I mean.
fructose corn syrup
Yes.
tea. Yeah, everyone's favorite.
Scissor tea.
Syrup tea. Snapples that have 60 grams of sugar. In
Yeah,
them.
Snapples like naked, like
Yeah.
smooth, like smoothie drink type things. Those. When I looked at those, the first time I looked at the back of one of those, I lost my mind. I was like,
Cardiac arrest.
yeah,
right?
I was like, what? And I was like, but they're so yummy. It's like, but I still want to eat them. But
story of my life, bro. As I find out all these things,
I'm like Wendy's. I'm like,
Wendy's.
I'm like, can I just not get the buns?
the 4 for
Just
4.
give me the square burger.
Then you're
give me
just
the
getting
square.
all the omega 6s and fatty acids and cows that were fed genetically modified wheat
True.
and malnourished.
No, grass fed.
No, that's a whole nother episode. But they
Okay, sorry.
the grass fed thing. I'm gonna just say it real quick because it's on my mind.
Yeah.
they can just lie about it. So
Oh yeah.
grass fed only has to mean that they've eaten grass at some point in their lifetime. Essentially, is what
They
it
did
boils
it
down
one
to.
time.
So yeah, when
They had
you're-
one strand of grass.
so what they're feeding them is like super processed grains and stuff
Yeah.
that's like super cheap to mass produce, made with poor ingredients.
All
And then
manner of
for it to be
disgusting,
grass
demonic
fed,
things.
it only needs to be grass fed for the last like 30 days of their life. I think
How
is
does that
how it
even
works.
count? That's so
Somehow they can bullshit and lie on the numbers, and I hate the FDA, but
the people the FDA comes by, they're like, so
they're gonna pull up to my house because I'm just every episode I'm just hammering on. them.
there's gonna be a bunch.
Cop cars are gonna pull up.
There's gonna be a bunch of black explorers that are coming outside your house. They're gonna be rolling up the driveway in like a line.
If I disappear before episode 3 comes out,
just know
that's what happened to me.
Yeah, just know that.
Just know I died fighting for you.
He got taken away by a couple suits.
But back to sleep.
Yeah, back to sleep. Sorry.
Chamomile tea,
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is really good. I've had it a few times.
I've heard
I
this.
have some upstairs. If you'd want to try some.
Yeah, we could do that.
But I have a quote here. It says over 120 chemical elements for chamomile have been discovered, including the antioxidant apigenin, I think is how you pronounce it, which basically promotes drowsiness and can help prevent insomnia. It's actually been used sort of medicinally as sort of a traditional holistic treatment for insomnia and stuff.
Okay.
There's very little risk. It's not like you're taking some drug. Like you're drinking a tea from a plant.
Yeah.
And so that could help you if you end up liking it. I've had it a few times. I do think it. Yeah, I just think it's good.
Yeah.
But
you like the taste of it?
But it is soothing. And it's been shown in studies to be soothing. So there is scientific evidence behind that.
I remember I did a sketch, or I did a video where we drank sleepy time tea.
Was it from Yogi?
It was like
Yogi
the bear
Sleepy
guy.
Time?
Yeah, the bear guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Where he's sleeping on the cover.
Yeah.
Me and Nick, a different Nick. It was for a video. This was in 2019. This was a while ago, but we did actually make it. We had like boiling water that we poured into the cups and we made it.
Did you try it? Did you?
It was okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a tea fan though, to be honest. I'm not. I like I said, I just like coffee and water these days, and I drink milk when I eat cereal.
Yeah.
But I really don't. And then I also have like, I'll have sodas or something when I'm like drinking liquor, but I don't, but I don't really drink like anything else besides that. Cause I honestly feel like anything else would be a problem. Well, I guess besides beer, I didn't mention that. I guess so that kind of goes hand in hand with the part of me mentioning the liquor. Yeah, besides Miller,
but
my best friend.
It is something to consider if you're curious about it ever. If you want to just, even if you just find something that you'd like, that's a chamomile tea.
Can we go back to melatonin real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I want to talk about my experience with these people. Okay, you people.
You got 4 minutes.
You people. I have 4 minutes, but you people, man. Look, it's not a god drug, guys. It's not like weed and these other. It's not a god drug. Like, not that I think people think this way about melatonin that they do about like weed or something like that. But well, first of all, if you're using weed to go to bed, you're doomed.
That's a whole nother.
You're absolutely
issue,
doomed.
Yeah.
And same with I feel like it's even more obvious. Like alcohol, yeah, that's really bad too.
Yeah, we should touch on that.
Shouldn't even have
actually.
to be said, honestly. Like I don't even know if it is it because like I see at least with our generation, more people these days would go to something like weed than they would go to with alcohol. But I can tell you from my own twisted life and experience, my own I'm Oliver Twist. This stuff does not work. It will torture you. The sleep that you'll get it's not fulfilling. It's the same thing like when you're sleeping on Benadryl or anything else, like because Benadryl's another one. That one's I would probably say not in a health way, but I just mean in effectiveness. That's probably the most effective one because a bunch of people do that too. But that is like you're not actually sleeping. Like you're not.
Are you referring to melatonin, marijuana, and alcohol altogether when you say that, or?
No, I was saying just with the Benadryl, like when I was saying that part there. But in general, all of those things, like obviously they're all very different. But people I've seen, I don't know, people they want an easy way to. I mean, this is how it's always been. People don't want to, when there's things that they want to improve about themselves. They, the road that has the least amount of effort, it's like they want to take that road. And I understand that. There's tons of, I'm lazy too in a lot of ways. But like with sleep, it's like, it's almost like, it's the same thing where it's like people would rather, gas themselves on weed every night to like get a couple hours of sleep than invest and then blow all that money on the weed than invest in a new mattress or some shit like that.
Well, and we should
something like that.
Mention that there are plenty of studies out there showing that the sleep you're getting on alcohol marijuana. I mean, it'll be affected differently, but it's not quality sleep, regardless of what it feels like.
And everybody, like, this is something that, like, everybody does this. We said weed especially. Like, alcohol, like, I don't feel like as much, or maybe people just don't talk about
nowadays, I feel like. At least I don't hear about it, like you said.
Because now it's like, because I mean, if you say something like I have to, I mean, there's people that are, like, I mean, I don't know what's going on in their personal lives, but even things another thing that I think is concerning, where they're like, I need weed to, like, eat food. I'm like, that's horrible. Like, you need to stop right now.
We could make a whole episode on that.
I've had problems, like, and that is no, like, that I like.
It's horrible.
No, that's horrible. That's like being like, yeah, man, I need the benzos to have a burrito, bro. It's like, what? Whoa. It's like, I know it's not the same, but it's like, because it's an opioid, but it's like, oh man, I don't know. I just think like when you're self-medicating with anything, you should be thinking about it like you're thinking about crack. Okay, because even if it's alcohol or it's weed or whatever, and you're having fun, if you're doing it for like something like to go to bed, you should imagine yourself smoking a crack pipe before you go take a nap. Because, like, I'm not going to say that they're all the same, but, like, the general idea is, like, the same. And it's, like, it's horrible. Like, it's so bad.
All right, so we were talking about melatonin.
Yes.
And you were saying along the lines of, like, self-medicating for sleep in any capacity is really not healthy. And I do tend to agree
people think
with that.
It's okay because it's like, well, if you're, like, getting boozed every night to go to bed, that's awful. But, like, dude, no, I just, I smoke a couple grams of weed, dude, and it's like, whatever. It's like, no, it's the same. Like, that's why I hate, and there's a lot of double standards and stuff like that with weed. And I get it. It's not like the way alcohol impairs you, it can just, like, it can put you out on your ass. Like, it can in ways that, but honestly, I mean, especially at this point, like, with the way they're engineering that stuff, like, I mean, weed is, like, I would say it's the potential for, not that it's always like this, especially in places where you're not getting it legally, like, so you can't really guarantee that, but, like, it's way more powerful than alcohol ever could be, in my opinion. Like, from my own experience, just personally, and I've been really drunk and I've been really high before, and weed is dangerous, man. It's a hard drug. Like, it's a stimulant. It's a hard drug.
I have no experience with it personally, but I do recommend not using it for sleep. I know some people swear by it. I've heard some of friends of my friends that are like need it to sleep, like they can't do it. And I think it's just a similar thing when you talk about melatonin for supplementing. The amount of melatonin that is in these supplements is like astronomically higher than what your body produces naturally. And that in itself isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when you're relying on it, you're suppressing your body's own ability to reduce melatonin, because if you're doing it chronically, and I didn't find studies for this, I didn't think I was going to talk about this, but if you're doing it chronically, I would venture to say that your body's going to adapt to that, and it's going to expect that you're going to have that 5 milligrams of melatonin when you take it each night instead of producing it itself. And so you're like always addicted to it. And studies have shown that melatonin sleep is not as good as regular sleep, like supplemented sleep.
Who would have known?
Apparently you did. Yeah. Hopefully that camera doesn't die. Battery.
Hopefully, yeah.
But is that everything you wanted to say about melatonin?
Yeah, pretty much. I just think, because I just hear a lot of people saying, like, maybe I should try melatonin or like CBD. I've done both of those things, and maybe I didn't do it the right way. I don't know if there's like a way or whatever, but I've tried. They never did anything for me. I always were like, this is a joke. I was like, I just like, I never worked for me. I don't know. I never did. Yeah. I just think the reason I just wanted to mention that was because I just think, and I'm not saying it to be to like, I'm not making fun of these people or anything, but I just mean, like, it's sad because it's like that's the wrong like you're looking for things to make it happen, when the thing that makes it happen, and this is coming from someone with sleep problems, it's really just like you just gotta hunker down and just like you just gotta like really just make yourself go to bed, like, without anything. Like, you can't, like, maybe I'll try this or I'll take this. Like, don't, just taking is like,
Well, and what you should, if the only time I would consider using melatonin is if you're extremely stressed in one particular day for whatever reason, you're worried about tomorrow or something, and you just absolutely can't sleep. I could see that being beneficial in a small dosage, but you want to be doing everything else we talked about first. You want to be viewing the sun. You want to do your exercise in the morning. You want to see the sunset. You want to be sleeping in a cool environment. Like, there's so many things that you should do before you resort to medicating for it.
Yeah.
And one last thing we were going to talk about was eating.
Yes.
Like food. This is probably not super significant in most people, but it could be beneficial. When you eat early in the morning, I know you don't.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to. But it can help encourage some more energy in the morning, which can further that cortisol spike and
more
further,
than the coffee would be.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, because the coffee, caffeine, basically is, it blocks your adenosine absorption. So what it actually does is kind of convoluted, but it caffeine occupies the receptors in your brain for adenosine. So it doesn't get rid of the adenosine in your system. It stops it from being absorbed by occupying the space that it's supposed to go to.
Okay.
Where was I going with that? I just like wanted to mention that. But the food. Food will have other effects in different parts of your body instead of just the nervous system. You're gonna have some carbohydrates probably in the morning, which is gonna fill up your glycogen stores. It's gonna have a nice cascading effect of energy. But if you feel enough energy throughout your day anyway, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to eat in the morning. Yeah. But you shouldn't eat too late either. Okay. Are you eating like super late at night?
So I mean, sometimes it's hard when you get off. Well, one of the things I've had to deal with since moving out is like, having to come home and not have like, oh, it's like leftovers, or oh, it's, we have this made on the stove or whatever. Not having a house with food in it, I have to make it, and it's like
takes extra time.
Yeah, it sucks. Oh my god, I mean, I like it. I have motivation to cook when I'm cooking for my partner, the person I live with, but like when I have to do it myself, man, oh my god, I can't even. I'm like, I'm just gonna starve. So I'm dead. I'm dead.
It's not good, but
I'm like, I sit back and I'm like, I'm in my bed. I'm like, well, I'm dying today. It's done.
But
can't even make an egg.
But where I was going with not wanting to eat late at night.
But you asked me when I eat late.
Yeah. Do you?
So
you
around the time I usually eat is probably like 7 or 8 or no, like probably like 7, 6. Okay. Probably around there. I feel like the latest that's like not an unusual occurrence is like 9, 8. But at that time I'm like freaking starving. So I don't know. I usually would have eaten by then.
But so it sounds like that's probably not a factor for you. If you eat too late at night, digestion it takes a lot of resources in the body, and it produces heat. So the idea when you're trying to sleep is to lower that internal temperature. So when you eat, you can actually sort of increase that temperature.
Okay.
And you don't want to do that. But it sounds like usually you're not doing that. I was going to say something else about it. The brain is turning off.
The brain is turning off. The camera's turning off. The battery's dying.
Yeah, it's a fourth take, man.
Fourth take. This is a big one, guys. This is a big episode.
Not the fourth time trying to record. It's the fourth break.
Yeah, don't worry.
Camera limit.
This is all hopefully not, unless there's any corruption issues. It should hopefully all be okay.
Not. But yeah, you don't want to eat super late at night. And that's basically it with that. Yeah. With the food, it's not super complicated, especially you don't want to eat a huge meal.
Yeah, huge portion.
But this is what I was going to say. It sounds like for you, what I would try is the light exposure. Yeah. Is removing as much of that after the sun sets as you can. Ideally candlelight. But
yeah, my biggest problem my biggest problem is definitely just like motivating myself to go to bed. Like most of the time it's like I have work to do. I'm like. The worst part, it's not like I'm staying up reading or I'm staying up, writing by candlelight, I wish it was that. I wish it was things that were a little bit like, if I was going to be staying up, it was something that was, but no, I'm sitting there hunched over like a gremlin, editing, like for hours, because like juggling my, full-time job and trying to do this stuff and then, being a, a codependent, like adult or whatever, running my own like a little apartment thing with my partner. Like, I have more responsibilities in that way. So, it's like it's hard to find time. So it's like sucks when I'll have to have that time, spend that time like after hours, like when I should really be going to bed.
Yeah.
And it's messing me up recently. Like it's been really affecting a lot. And then also, going, like I said, I'm not, look guys, okay, do I actually won't, don't do as I say. Well, okay, maybe
don't listen to
maybe on here, maybe because I'm like being good, but
you're not unhinged.
Most of the time, I was gonna say most of the time, learn from me. Learn not from me, but the mistakes that I have made. For I have made so many mistakes, and it's because I have made many. But one of them is that, like I was saying about going to bed on drugs, that happens quite often in my life, and that's definitely not something that I don't necessarily do it to go to bed. I mostly just do it because I'm bored. Or I have addiction problems, or like it'll help me, focus on editing, which really just the reason it helps me focus is because I'm like, I can only focus on one thing.
Yeah.
So it's like I will just focus on that, but it's not healthy.
Definitely,
like I said,
not good for
all
sleep.
that smack I was talking earlier applies to me too. I'm a chuck wagon. I was gonna say the bad word, but I'm a dang chuck wagon. Okay, I need to get myself into gear sometimes. I need a kick in the pants from a father figure.
Yeah.
I need a random guy. Someone needs to hire a random
guy,
like wrestler to come in and like kick my ass.
I'll get John Cena on it.
Yeah.
Although if you see him, it usually means your
JC.
time is limited.
Most of the time you can't see him.
It's usually because you're
usually
a child with some chronic illness and you're gonna die.
True, that's actually true. Yeah.
Anyway,
actually,
I think when it comes to the editing thing, it sounds like it's probably really hard to balance all of the things that are going on, especially now that you're on your own.
Mental, yeah.
Something I would try if I was in that place, and I'm not. I have less obligations than you do now because I'm fighting my own chronic illness, so my life is on pause right now. But I would just set an alarm. Start editing. Say I'm gonna edit for this hour. I'm gonna be focused, and when that alarm goes off, I'm gonna stop right where I am. I'm not even gonna finish what I'm doing. I'm gonna stop right where I am, and I'm gonna turn the lights off and light some candles, and I'm gonna write with my quill.
I'm gonna put the bubble bath on. I'm gonna put the bath bomb in there. We're gonna get it sizzling up. Yep.
The warm bath, and then go into bed. You can take the warm bath
slippers.
in the dark.
Yeah,
slippers.
With the slippers on.
But yeah, I would try setting an alarm and try to really set boundaries with yourself if you can, because it sounds like it might be sort of hard to control.
It is
yourself
because I have most of my life I've needed discipline and self-control for a lot of things. To this day and in the past. Self-control is not something that I practice very well or very often. But I do, but this especially because it's like, I'm also probably clinically depressed. I've never gotten a diagnosis. I did take meds that I stopped taking like years ago, but some things feel so numb. Sometimes this is like very off topic, but like one of the things that like really makes me feel like alive, or makes me feel, which maybe sounds exaggeratory, but it's like doing that editing and that kind of work, even if it's like very draining. And sometimes I'm like, I just want to relax. Like it almost feels like it's the only thing I can do now, that it's like some kind of creation of something, whether it's doing this or something else, like is where I really feel fulfilled. I don't know why. I wish I could feel fulfilled from things as simple as, I feel like I still get that fulfillment from music and books. I haven't been watching any films, which I used to a lot, like all the time. But now I just been reading and listening to music, which is good, getting away from, because I read because I don't like reading on like PDFs. Like
I don't read on screens.
Yeah.
If I do read, it's
I don't read on screens. I like how we have to say that these days. I don't read on screens. It's like Jesus.
Well, because especially if you're a light mode enjoyer,
if you're a Kindle enjoyer,
reading on the bright white screen will suppress your melatonin.
Yeah.
Just like everything we've talked about. But yeah,
It'd be like the guy in SpongeBob when he looks at the dude's like bald head.
Yeah.
He's like, my eyes.
But yeah, I would try the alarm thing. It sounds like it's at least enjoyable to you.
Yeah.
That editing, it's not. Hopefully, it's not too much of like a burden on you.
It is a little. I mean, it's definitely. I got a monkey on my back all the time.
Yeah.
Just like, just like beating me over the head, taking my change and stealing my watch and everything. Like, it's ridiculous. But it's if I didn't do it, I would be dead.
Yeah.
Like really, I don't think I would. I would feel so empty. I don't. I need an outlet like that.
Yeah. So definitely.
Now at this point, it's like, I don't know if it's gonna be my career, and if it is, it's probably gonna be YouTube. But which I always used to say. I remember I used to say this back to you guys and everything, where I'd be like, if I was ever a YouTuber, I would be dead. Now I'm like, dude. Now I work full. Now it's been like
corporate slave.
Lowe's/Ace is like in total. Well, actually, I've been working full time now for a few. Like
It's been a while.
2 years or so. 2 to 3 years, I think mostly like 2. And it's now I'm like, I'll do anything to escape this nightmare. Like this is.
Yeah.
It is really like those people don't know. Like it makes you more mad when you see people online complain when they're like. Like, I have to sit here and play League for 12 hours and my wrist hurts. Oh my god!
My carpal tunnel is
like,
going crazy.
I'm gonna lose my when I see that kind of stuff. I'm like, yeah, I wanna take your skin and I wanna wear it so that people think I'm you, and then I can have your I can have your streaming career, and I can be beautiful because all the pretty ones are always the most popular ones.
Well, yeah, that's the
actually
only
that's
reason.
not even true. We'll cut this. But don't have to talk about Asmongold. We don't have.
Yeah,
to
we're talking about sleep here.
This is.
But
ridiculous.
anyway, for your sleeping, definitely don't stop the editing.
Yeah.
Of course, obviously you're not going to stop, but I think
can't stop. Won't
make
stop.
sure to do it, but try to set a limit on it.
Yeah.
Like try to set a timer, and really when that timer goes off, really
practice self-control.
Step away from it, turn it off, get off the screens half an hour before bed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think stay off the phone too.
Yeah. You know, actually these days I don't use my phone that much.
Really?
I used to use it. Well, I think social media just in general, I'm sure I can speak for a lot of people, but it used to just matter a lot more when we were younger, not just because we were younger and that stuff, you know, social stuff like that mattered more, but also just it was newer and it was like a more fun thing. Now it's like I'm so nihilistic about it. It's like depressing. I see stuff and I'm like, this is a cyber hell. I'm like, we're like the things that I see sometimes, like just simple things where it's like, oh yeah, you can just like these AI, this AI technology for like altering photos, man. It's getting bad. Like, I'm just saying, like,
it's sort of dystopian when I go on.
It's
Instagram
dystopian, man.
nowadays.
It's bad. I don't like.
I don't use it like at all, really. My screen time today, I would bet it's under 20 minutes right now.
Probably just these.
It's 4 p.m.
Right here.
Yeah, because I'm looking at these because I have to look at this stupid 20-minute timer every second. Anyways, we should probably wrap it up because we're getting on to different episode topics. But anyone that's made it this far, thank you again. All the sources. I do have like 20 sources for sleep stuff. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Professionals do, and I quote the professionals. So thank you all for watching. If you like this type of stuff, stay tuned for more. I want to have Jackie on a substantially more amount because it is a fun time and it's much easier.
Yeah, with 2 people, it's really easy to bounce off.
But yeah, anyways, thank you. You know, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.